but it did not work out. Everybody wants to know, Ron Rivera, Cam Newton, what's up with going for 2?
Well, I think you go for 2 on the road to win the game. And that's what I did at the end of the day. What's to say the coin toss is going to go in our favor? What's to tell you we're going to stop them? So why not go for 2? Well, he missed a couple kicks. I mean, that's that's all part of it. When I was going for the win, that's just the bottom line.
Well, I kind of expected it, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He trusted in me, and I gotta up him my end of the bargain, uphold my end of the bargain, and I didn't do that. I let this team down, and I just got to be better. I think today was just perfect indication of guys just taking turns making mistakes, and that's unacceptable.
They're 6-4. Looking at them, I mean, they're losing ground in the wild card race where they currently sit. Of course, they have a couple of favorable matchups: the Buccaneers, the Browns coming up, but they do have to face the Saints in 2 of their last 3 games of the season. So that's going to be rough sledding for them. The other team that sticks out to me is the Vikings, who their schedule down the stretch is super tough, Triggs.
Yeah, and they've got Seattle next week, the Panthers. And if you look at the top team in the hunt, so you talk about tiebreakers and wild cards, it gets really wonky. Panthers-Seahawks next week becomes a huge NFC battle.
The power rankings are put out today. The Saints would be at the tippy top. Chiefs, Rams play tonight, but show me how the Saints are continuing this historic clip.
Best team in football. We're trying to come up with some sort of Hail Mary Rocky metaphor to save the Eagles. Peter said this game was like Apollo versus Drago.
Pretty grim.
Doug Peterson was saying this was supposed to be an exhibition. No, it wasn't, Doug. It ain't no exhibition. The Eagles are in the corner saying, don't throw the towel, no matter what. No matter what. Throw the damn towel! Throw the damn towel! There's no easy way out. 4th and 7. There's no shortcut home.
So disrespectful.
So savage.
I love him.
Sean Payton.
Likes that I tweeted
If he
it.
does, he does. It's Sean Payton throwing it to Kamara. I'm 4th down.
That they're showing the camera.
Oh,
Only up 31 points.
Watermelon Plus or something they're called. 48-7, a spine buster.
No white mystery in this one.
Or a joke. Go for a drive in the Ferrari. Paulie blew all your money. I'm sorry, you're broke. Saints win by a lot.
What did we learn other than the fact that the Saints are rolling, or just the fact that they're rolling and the Eagles not so much? You said they didn't even show up.
Yeah, that was mean. I mean, they got a lot of heart. They don't have the horses right now. And honestly, in the secondary, they got no bodies left. It was just affirmation for me for New Orleans. Like, if you watched that game in the late window, there wasn't a lot of competition. And it was just, you don't see teams get that badly outplayed. It was like, okay, we haven't seen Game of Thrones in a while, but It was like Drew Brees just said Dracarys, and it was just over. You know what I mean? Like, the Eagles they're waiting, and they got their swords and shields, and they hear this rummaging over the hill, and sure enough, it's just this dragon, and it's just like, it's over the second you see it. So I just look forward, who's going to take them out? Because it's going to be New Orleans. Who's going to win? We saw the Rams give it a shot. I don't know who else has the punching power right now. Maybe, I'll bring this up this way. The only way I think maybe to beat the Saints, because I don't think you can outscore them. I don't think you can win the game 49-43.
Yeah.
I think the only way to do it would be to hit Breeze all day long, and maybe it's somebody like Khalil Mack that we saw last. Maybe that's it. That's all I got.
It's good, too, though.
It does.
Lattimore looked awesome up against Alshon and Co.
You know, when it comes to the NFL and how coaches approach each game, there's some unwritten rules. You know, you don't run up the score. You don't do things like college coaches do, where they kind of have to run the score up for their ranking's sake. There was a 4th and 7 in this game.
Talk about it.
And Sean Payton decided, let's just go for the jugular.
I love it.
Right here.
They're up 38-7.
Alvin Kamara on the bottom. Over the top of Mitchell. And they go for the jugular. Score the touchdown. They're celebrating. He does the Vince Carter, it's over. And I remember sitting back in the studio with Boom and Phil and Coach Cowher, and I'm like, did they just do that? And listen, whether you want to think Sean Payton is somewhat of a jerk of a head coach and he doesn't do things the right way, I love this. I love this for the simple fact that his method might be a little unorthodox, but I get it, though. It's kind of like Magneto. Like, he's a little out of control when you're watching the X-Men movies, but he kind of has a point. And when you're looking at the Saints, he's a genius. And when you're looking at these Saints team, they're young, they're brash, they're cocky. maybe he's doing this for their own confidence. You don't want to hold back because later in the season, in the playoffs, what happens when you pull back a little bit?
And there's
keep it on.
Keep it on, and I feel like there's a second wave of guys. We know that they've signed Dez, and he went down. They got Brandon Marshall. Out of nowhere yesterday, there's a whole new crew. Traquan Smith comes out of nowhere, a third-round pick. Austin Carr comes out of nowhere, undrafted former Patriot. Keith Kirkwood comes out of nowhere. Follow this graphic here. Traquan Smith, Austin Carr, and Keith Kirkwood. Career catches all combined before week 11. They were awesome yesterday. So we're talking now about a 5th, 6th, and 7th receiver, and Brandon Marshall is still on the roster with 2 great running backs, with Ben Watson, with the best offensive line in football, and with the best quarterback in the conference. There's just waves and waves and waves and waves of offense.
Like Kentucky basketball.
And they've got a head coach who wants to take his foot and stick it down your throat and then smash it with his feet. I mean,
that's it. I feel you.
They're savage.
It is amazing stuff, and I feel like we're still going to get tweets that are like, all the offenses are good. The Chiefs' offense is better. The Rams are better. They're really not. This is historic. You think, how often do you see a team put up 45 points 3 times in a row? I'm sure it happens pretty often. They're the 4th team to ever do it in NFL history. This is a historic team. They are right now the 2nd highest scoring offense in all of NFL history. 37.8 points a game. The Broncos did it by 0.01 points more back in 2013. Drew Brees, 28 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like, it's absolutely amazing. 77% completion percentage. It is not a great offense. It's the best offense in the NFL right now, and it's the 2nd best in NFL history. Coming up next, one of the